Hello everyone, I got some very good news today. We just got ourselves some console mod updates in Baldur's Gate 3 featuring new subclass mods for the Arcane Vanguard as well as the Mind Weaver, the Soul Scion, and the Hellionaut, which I know a lot of people are really excited for. So this update just went live on console, so if you're able to go to your mod manager, you might need to close your game and reopen it first for the update to appear, but the Arcane Vanguard there has the update, as well the Mind Weaver with their Soul Scion subclass. We'll be covering some other things related to that as well today. I'll also be posting a build guide for the Soul Scion later tonight, and I already got one for the Hellionaut, so you can check that out. I'll have a link in the comments as well as in the description. So yeah, got some good things coming, and much more to come. Now, I want to make a little note because there's some confusion about things. If you go to the Mod.io website, Mod.io is where the in-game mod manager comes from. Now you can see here, so we're looking at the Arcane Vanguard mod by Sathos here. They just posted an update, and shouts out to Sathos, always updating their mods very quickly and putting a lot of effort into their modding. They updated 5 hours ago. So you can see here down the right-hand side, there's the versions. So Daniel, you can download these manually if you're on PC. But so this version 1.3.5.78, this has been released 5 hours ago on Windows. You can see there just the single platform that it's on. And then the version that's currently on console right now, 1.3.4.71, you can see Mac, Xbox Series XS, and PlayStation 5. It was last updated 26 days ago. And this is now available to be downloaded for console players, which has the Hellionaut there, which I know a lot of people are really looking forward to. So if you're ever curious if the mod has been properly updated for console, you can always come and check out on Mod.io, the website, and it'll show the different versions depending on PC or console. Just want to make a little note on that as there was some confusion regarding that, but Arcane Vanguard, one of the best class mods in Baldur's Gate 3. I highly recommend it. Now, I just want to do a brief overview of the Hellionaut and the Soul Scion here because they're both fantastic. So the Hellionaut here. So this is studying the ways of the devil, the nine hells. You bring the force of an infernal explorer to your battle prowess. So you get the fiendish bonds here. So when in possession of a soul, you get access to the fiendish bonds. These actions consume the soul for various effects every time a soul is consumed. And you also gain 2 stacks of heat when you do that. It allows the uses for some more class abilities. You also get the Pact of the Hell Hunt here, consuming a soul to mark an allied creature. When this creature uses an attack roll to damage a target marked with the Hellion's prey, it will deal an additional 3 fire damage. This lasts for 5 turns, used as a bonus action. And they also get the Hellfire brand. So these are special abilities here. This can consume a soul. When you apply this mark, the target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or become fearful of you. And they'll take 2 to 5 fire damage or half as much on a constitution saving throw, upwards of a max of 11 to 14. Now, one thing I just want to note here is that Sathos does a fantastic job of keeping the mods very balanced for a playthrough. They are a DM in Dungeons and Dragons, so they know how to keep things balanced without making it overpowered, and that's exactly the experience you get with this mod. And I love it for that reason, because it doesn't take the fun out of the game by making things too easy. It gives you some very strategic options that you got to make. So you also get the fun Searing Smite and Hellish Rebuke, and subclass features the Hellion's Hunt. So you can mark a target with the prey, and then you acquire the victim's soul whenever you consume it, or whenever you mark them with that. Really fun subclass. They also have some new fighting styles. So you get the Ethereal Edge, which allows you to do, when you're wielding a finesse weapon, your weapon attacks that are not from cantrips have a range of 4.5 meters, which is huge. So you get increased range there, and doesn't apply to Booming Blade. I also have the Blade Dancer there. So they add some new stuff to this, and that's exactly why I think Sathos is putting in some serious work when it comes to their mods. There is also support for Mistress spells, and they added the new spells that got added in patch 8. Currently uninstalled Mistress spells for the time being for certain video purposes, but once we get to level 3, you get the Sacrificial Rite for the Hellionaut here. So when you fail a saving throw while in possession of a soul, you can use your reaction, consume the soul, gaining a bonus to a saving throw equal to your intelligence modifier, possibly turning failure into success. So depending on your intelligence, you get a +5 or higher to your saving throw. There's also Hellstep Intercession. When an ally takes damage, you can choose to invoke infernal powers to switch places with them. When you do so, the attacker and all nearby enemies must make a dexterity saving throw or take 2 to 12 fire damage. Also got the Infernal Reprisal here. Consume a soul to mark an allied creature or yourself. When this ally takes damage, they reflect 1 to 6 fire damage and resistance to fire and necrotic damage. And the Pyrrhic Chains. Consume a soul to mark a creature with the Pyrrhic Chains. For a duration, its creature loses the movement speed, and the creature moves on its turn, it'll gain the Pyrrhic Pull, utilizing their armor class and saving throws. You also get the Heat Metal and Scorching Ray spells. And you also get, again, choice of spells, and the ever popular Shadow Blade is added to the mix from patch 8. And you also get to choose Socialite skills, so you can choose Study Influence your social interactions. So Constructed Argument gives you a bonus to your Persuasion check equal to Intelligence modifier. This will do the same for Intimidation, and this will do the same for Deception. Persuasion for good playthroughs, Deception for middle of the pack, and Intimidation for evil playthroughs. So that's kind of the guide for those. And as we continue to level up, we also get our feats as per usual. And you can see there we got the Toll the Dead new cantrip that was added. So again, very fun to play around with because it's got a little bit of everything for everybody. Once we get to level 5, we get the Vanguard Spell Weave. They recently updated this, so when you take an attack action, you can cast a cantrip for free as part of that action. You may choose to cast the cantrip first. However, one action must be a weapon attack and the other must be a cantrip. And we get the very fun Fireball and the Fear spell, this is underrated. Fear is an underrated spell. I'm just going to say that. People don't use it enough because it's great. It makes targets drop their weapons and become fearful. It's really nice. It does break your concentration, though. We also get some new versions of the Vanguard talents here as we continue to level up. I really like the Focus Shatter, which is cool. If you can break your concentration to deal additional damage on an attack, which is awesome. At level 7, we get an improved Vanguard technique. You can now use a spell instead of the cantrip whenever you do an attack. So you can do an attack, spell, or spell, attack, but with using a bonus action. We have the Wall of Fire, great spell, and Fire Shield as well. And once we hit level 9, we get the Diabolic Resurgence. When you're in possession of a soul and are dropped to 0 health points, you can consume the soul and get 9 health points instead. And we also get the Infernal Mirage. When targeted by an attack roll, you can impose disadvantage, possibly turning a hit to a miss. The Edict of Avernus. When enemies within 6 meters must succeed a Wisdom saving throw or get disadvantage on all saving throws. Any allies within 6 meters get temporary health points equal to their character level and have advantage on all attack rolls. Pretty cool. You also get a fun spell there's a lot of fun spells here, with Banishing Smite, possibly banish target to another plane of existence, and Planar Binding. There's also the cool Vanguard talent, the Spell Throwing. Your melee spells will get with an attack roll will gain a range of 4.5 meters. I think that one is really cool. And upon hitting level 11, you get the Tactical Strikes. Once per turn, when you attack it with a weapon, you deal a 1d4 of additional weapon damage. It's nice. And also the Planar Ally, which is one of my favorite spells. This is exclusive to this subclass, so really nice. And we also get the Wall of Ice spell, which I'm also a huge fan of. A Globe of Invulnerability. 2 of those are really, really effective. They do require concentrations, though. I really recommend the Globe of Invulnerability. So that is the Hellionaut. Again, I do have a build on it, so I'll be posting in the link in the description and in the comments, so you can check that out if you want to get some guidance on how to make it most effective. Now, as for the Mind Weaver, there's now the Soul Scion here, which is so cool. It's kind of it's all elemental damage types. It's a buffer, debuffer type class, and uses Soul Essence to power up its abilities. So you have the Psionic Invocations here. So there's Animus Treason. So the Soul Scion sees control of their target soul, dominating its will and forcing them to fight as an ally for the duration. The target is also silenced, rendering them unable to cast any spells. And the target resists with wisdom saving throws each turn, but failure leaves them bound to the Scion's command. Goes to the Spirit brand. The Soul Scion ignites his soul kindled fire with their form wreathed in a spectral energy. Their weapons and body burn with the same ethereal glow, causing their weapon attacks to deal 1 to 4 fire damage. Soul Shock, which does a 3d6 of fire damage or lightning damage, harness the protective layer of an ally's soul, converting into raw energy. The transformation triggers a burst of lightning electricity and leeches outwards. It's kind of cool. The Tenebrous Blades conjure 1 great sword infused with negative soul energy and hurl them at foes. Each blade does 2 to 16 necrotic damage, preventing them from healing targets for 1 turn, and imposes disadvantage on attack rolls for undead. So that's really cool, kind of similar to Bone Chill, but it applies no healing, not no heals. And additional blades can be conjured at increased soul essence cost. Let's get the Anima Shield. Envelop yourself and an ally in a protective veil of soul energy, granting 5 hit points and 1 armor class. When the temporary health points are gone, you absorb the remnants of the barrier, restoring 5 soul essence, which uses 10 soul essence to cast. Also, the Resonant Wave, which is 2d8 thunder damage, manifests a crescent-shaped shockwave. This is also kind of like Thunder Wave. Soul Ignition, fire damage, 4 to 24, and the fire triggers at the start of their turn for 2 turns, burning and testifies, consuming from within. Wither and Wield, manipulate the spiritual balance between yourself and a foe, inflicting random negative conditions on an enemy while gaining a random benefit effect in return. So you can give like Vitality Curse, Banish, Prone, Frighten, Stun, Paralyze, Hypnotize, Nausea, Stole Numb, and Cripple, and give yourself an increase to your bonus armor class, weapon damage, advantage, intelligence, wisdom, constitution, dexterity, save, and strength. So really cool. I like this one's actually very unique. This gives basically blindness for the target within a 2-meter radius. Pain Link, you can forge a spectral bond between yourself and your allies, tethering pain to vengeance. When the link is active, 20% of any damage dealt is linked to allies reflected back, adds psychic damage to those who strike them for 2 turns. Essus Implosion does a 2d6 of necrotic damage, and if the target is reduced below 50% health, their soul implodes, triggering an explosion, doing 2 to 12 force damage to all nearby targets. If the target is reduced below 15% health, they are instantly slain, and eruptions frightened all around the target. Really cool. Deep Soul Surge. Release a volatile soul surge targeting 3 enemies. shocking their spear, dealing 2 to 12 lightning damage for each successful hit. You absorb 2 health points to a maximum of 6. And the curse event trophy. So you get fracture target's essence with the volatile curse, leaving their soul in a state of chaotic disarray. This affliction is always inflicted initially and causes the target to take a random of 1d8 force, lightning, necrotic, thunder, psychic, or fire damage unless they succeed a wisdom saving throw. Super cool abilities, I must say. So I will be posting a Soul Scion build later today, but 2 huge updates giving new playthrough abilities. If you're not satisfied with the 12 new subclass we just got, many more now to play around with. The Hellionaut and the Soul Scion are both a lot of fun. So yeah, let me know what your favorite thing is about this mod update drop. I don't think we'll get console mods this week, unfortunately, just due to everything needing to get updated for patch 8 to work properly, but it does sound like we'll be getting maybe a couple next week. We'll have to wait and see, but maybe we'll do a surprise one tomorrow. It's hard to say. It just seems like good things are coming for console mods. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.